Good afternoon, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. I hope you're doing well. I was going to be working at the farm today, but I've got a pretty bad headache, so I'm just going to kind of focus here at home. I want to finish the irrigation for this walkway bed. Everything looks great. Everything transplanted well. Nothing's freaking out. So that's good. But I need to continue the irrigation to this side. From the long road here, I need to put an elbow and bring it down here and then cinch it off. I won't, obviously there's no plants in here yet, so I won't worry about running anything here, but I do need to run drip to everything in here. We're going to be ordering the stones today, so hopefully maybe later this week or early next week we'll be starting to put them all down, and then this project will be done, which will be great. The one thing that I need that I don't know that I have here is landscape staples. So I'm gonna go dig around in the garden, see if I can find some. Speaking of the garden, the mice have eaten all my peppers. All the ones that I planted, everything's gone. Just little sticks. I am not replanting. That's 2 rounds of peppers. I'm not doing it again because they're gonna keep eating it. I am catching them. Like this morning, I caught 2 already in a trap, and I just reset it, put it back down, and it caught another one. So, you know, they're active there day and night. I am catching them, but it's not enough, and I'm not going to waste money replanting the peppers. So the only peppers I'll have this year are whatever survives in the green stalk, which stinks, but it is what it is. You know, you can only fight nature so much. Okay, I'm going to get started finding the landscape staples, and then we will get this all tacked down and set up, and I'll show you how we put drip to individual plants. Well, it is 2 days later. That migraine morphed into something much worse, and I was sick for 2 days. So I'm back. I'm exhausted, but I'm back. We're going to pick up where I left off with you 2 days ago. So I've run the main line tubing here. Now I just need to run drip tubing and or non-drip tubing and emitters. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so for every plant coming off of this main line, I will either attach this tubing here, which has emitters in it. It's got a blue stripe. You can see those emitters. I think these are every 6 inches. So I can run that like around a plant, or I can run solid tubing. This has no emitters in it, from the main line, and then attach one of these emitters, and that will just deliver a steady drip to the root ball. Now, these are 2 gallon an hour emitters, and I got those because in general we need that here because we have 0 rain until November. But it might end up being a little too much for some plants. Like these jades have been in pots for like 12 years or more, and they hardly ever got water. So I am going to actually run a circle of this around them, and it will, you know, if I start noticing that it's too much, then I can go get emitters at the store that are less than 2 gallons an hour. I can do a 1 gallon an hour or a half gallon an hour emitter. So we'll just see what happens. So I also have other parts in here. Here's like a T. So in this case here, I will pop this into the main line and then run the circle of the emitter tubing off either side. So we've got those, we've got straight ones. This is how you attach this to that. And then we've got other parts in here that are for sprinklers and things like that. So this is just a kit. Inside here is the solid tubing, and then this is my emitter tubing. So it's just about doing the work. I have a hole punch here. This punches a hole into the main line, and then I can run all of my tubing and emitters off of that. So I'm just going to get started. It's kind of a slow process, but once we're done with this, then, and this seems backwards, but then we're going to put down landscape fabric. I wasn't really going to, but Mike really wants to, because he's worried about weeds and stuff, and I get that. But I think our problem is going to be blow-in weeds, not the ones that come up in the bed, and so we're still going to have to deal with that in the stones, in the stone gravel that goes on top, which is arriving, I think, on Monday. So we can get started filling this in, and then this project will be done. Except for the garage side. We're still battling. Mike has been trying to dig out that root for days now with a hatchet and a mattock, and it's a lot of work. Okay, so I'm gonna get started on this. Hopefully this won't take too long, and then I can move on to putting the landscape fabric down, that'll be fiddly, because I'm basically just gonna have to cut holes everywhere to fit the plants in. It'll be fine, but just a little bit more fiddly than if you just roll it out and then plant through it. So, okay, I'm gonna get started. Well, that's done, and it's running, and so far, no leaks. So this is all good to go, nice and dry. Like I said, so even with that pressure regulator, there is still a lot of water coming out of these emitters. because this is a very short run for high pressure. So, but every plant has an emitter, and you can see I was starting to run out of individual emitters, so I started doing loops, and you know, it's coming out pretty good. These guys are going to be at no shortage of water. So I think I'll probably need to run this for less time. However, I will be able to run, I still have to put the lamium in the front here, and I'll run a single line all along that, and that will help a little bit with the pressure. In other words, release some of the pressure. I mean, I'm not worried about any blowouts or anything, but there is definitely more than enough water coming out. Yeah, these guys are getting plenty of water. Again, once we add in this stuff here, whatever we're going to plant there, it's going to be repeats of all the plants that we already have. That will also alleviate some of the pressure, but we still have a ways to go. You can see here, this is what Mike has done so far. You know, this was a very large tree, so he's done an amazing job of cutting away all of the other roots, but that root ball, I think it's probably got a really deep tap root. We can't just take a chainsaw to it because there's so much dirt and stuff still around it that it will shred, totally mess up the chain. The chain will break off, it'll gunk up the saw and everything. It's not worth it. So we're still digging down to get to a point where maybe we can saw off that bottom tap root. But I'm not in a major rush to finish this part. I can still focus on the rest of it and we'll be okay. I'm gonna start rolling out this landscape fabric and cutting around the plants. It's pretty fluffy, like felty kind of landscape fabric, so I'm not too worried about it being, it's not gonna be hard to cut around that, put that around plants and stuff. It'll be fiddly, but it should be fine. And it's a 4-foot wide roll, which is great because I can put it more up against the house and leave the front part still open so that I can put the lamium in when that eventually arrives. I am getting a shipment of like 1,000 seedlings for the farm today. And over the next couple days, we got to get them in. But we are heading into our first heat wave of the year, which is good for the plants. I think for us here, we're just going to maybe get into the low 90s. More inland, they're going to be hitting like 110. So I'm glad that's not happening here, just because going from 60 degrees, which is what the plants have been sitting in, which is why they haven't been growing, to 110 in like a period of a day is really not good. That will pretty much fry everything, even though they have been watered. So, I have to time my transplanting carefully because I don't want to fry these seedlings by popping them out there at the height of the heat. And tomorrow, Aiden graduates, and so we have family coming in today. It's just going to be kind of crazy. So I'll be finding little bits of time to go out there and do very, very early morning transplanting, and then we'll just see how far we can get. But next week, the temperatures are coming back down, and hopefully going to be in the upper 70s to low 80s so that they can continue to grow, and we'll be able to plant out everything for sure. I am really irritated because, like I may have mentioned in this video, every pepper that we planted out there is gone. There's just sticks left. The rodents or the squirrels have come through and just decimated the peppers and the beans. So there's a lot of devastation going on out there. Even though I've got traps everywhere and I keep trapping things, it's still getting tore up. And the 2 trays of sunflowers that I started in the greenhouse, they were all looking great. They were getting real close to transplant. And overnight last night, a mouse got in. I guess it's a mouse. Anyway, there's nothing left. They ate everything. So frustrating. I just can't win. So anyway, gonna have to start more seedlings, more sunflowers today, because now that's put me behind 2 weeks in the succession. So, all right, I'm gonna take a quick break and then get started laying out this fabric. I don't know how much progress I'm gonna make on that today, but we'll see. This is what I'm talking about, and it is so frustrating. Just sticks left. You guys, I have so many rat traps and mouse traps set, and that's all the peppers that we planted. They're all gone too. I catch something, 1 or 2 mice a day, and it's still not even coming close to tackling the problem. I hate it. It's so frustrating. If you have any ideas that don't involve poison, will you please let me know? I just don't even know what to do anymore. It's no fun to garden when you spend all your time, put all your effort and everything into things, and then they get destroyed by rodents. So I've tied up the tomatoes. At least those are still okay right now. Some of the corn is here. A lot of it got eaten, and a lot of the squashes have been eaten. Like I said, I keep catching them. It's not like I'm not catching them. Like, how many hundreds of mice are in here completely destroying my garden? Our potatoes are getting close to harvest time. I can tell because the foliage is dying back. That's great. So I'll be looking forward to harvesting those pretty soon. I am going to leave them in the ground in their containers for about a week after the tops really die back, so that they can cure a bit in the ground, which I don't normally do, but I think that's better. All the potatoes are in protected space, so I'm not as worried about them getting eaten. It seems like mostly it's the top growth of all the green stuff. All right, I still haven't even taken my break to have lunch, so I'm gonna go do that. I just wanted to check on things out here, and then I got frustrated. So at least the squashes, for the most part, are looking good, and I'm hoping that with this heat we've got coming over the next couple of days, they'll actually put some growth on, and I have a couple of remaining peppers. Okay, I had my lunch. I am going to, instead of doing the landscape fabric, my fingers are completely torn up. This always happens whenever I do irrigation. It's a lot of work on the thumb and the forefinger, and so they're all shredded right now. I have a coupon for 30% off at the plant nursery, and so I'm gonna go pick up some more plants to finish the garage side when we finally get that done and take advantage of that discount. So I'm gonna run up to the nursery. When I get back, I'll show you what we've got. I got pretty much the same stuff. I mean, the same types of plants, but some variety differences. These guys are the same. This is the Candy Kisses. So I got 2 of those because this is a smaller area. And then 3 hostas, 2 of them. This is Olive Bailey. And this hosta it's zone 4 through 8, 3 feet tall, 5 to 6 feet wide, which is great. So nice and big. So these will go on the outside edges. And then we've got this guy for the middle. This one is called Atlantis, zone 3 through 9, and 30 inches tall. So that's for the middle. And then I only got 2 heuchera. This one is the marmalade variety. So we have 3 sets of heucheras in here. They're all slightly different, but still with the same color category. And then this is an acacia called Cousin It. I think it's so fantastic. It's about 2 feet tall and about 5 feet wide. So I'm thinking that will be a really cool accent right here in this corner as we turn to go down this side of the bed. Next thing we're gonna do, and then that'll be it for today. The box of seedlings came, so let's go unbox those in the greenhouse and get them set up for the night, because if I leave them exposed, the mice will eat everything. Speaking of, I'm gonna grab my new favorite mousetrap, and I will go over this with you as well. This thing works, and it is so easy to use, and you don't have to get your hands dirty. So here's my tray of sunflower seedlings that got completely decimated. You see, eaten. I'm so mad, you guys. It's so frustrating. They don't mess with the succulents, so, I mean, there is that. But I am going to protect these seedlings in here by covering them overnight. The mice also ate my penstemon and buddleia. They haven't messed with the lavender yet, or the catmint. Okay, so let me show you my favorite trap. This works really well. I got served an ad on Facebook, and I went ahead and took a leap and bought it. And I thought, you know, maybe it'll be crap. So this is it. I can see you through it. So this is called the Cat Sense mousetrap. And what makes it great is this tunnel. So mice and rats are naturally drawn to places where they can go in and hide, right? And so it has a bait cup here on the bottom that you fill with peanut butter or whatever. I've been putting peanut butter in it, but I got to tell you, even when there's no bait in it, I still catch them in here, which is hysterical. And it's super easy to set. So all you do once you have your bait cup set is pull down like that. And then when they run through, try to eat the bait, they trip the plate and it gets them. And it works. I love it. So I have 4 more of those. I have 2 in the front garden that were relocated from the back garden because I was catching a lot in the back garden. And then I moved them up to the veg garden. So now I'm going to put 2 in here and then 2 more because I got 4 back in the cottage garden. So now I have in every place. The company, and they don't know who I am, so I'm not like being, this is not a paid advertisement, but I like these and they work. So this is the company. I will try to link them below. The other nice thing about these is that, first of all, they're super easy to set. And then when you catch something, all you have to do is open it up and shake it out. You don't have to touch the dead rodent, which is nice because that's the other problem with the regular wooden snap traps is I have to wear gloves and you get that on your hands. Anyway, the other nice thing is that in those wooden snap traps, which I still set, I have caught a bird before and that broke my heart. I came out and a bird had gotten into it because it wanted the peanut butter. That won't happen in these because the birds aren't going to go in there. It's safe. Their big selling point is that it's safe around kids and dogs because nothing's going to reach their hands in there unless you're a mouse or a rat. So I highly suggest these. I was mentioning it over the weekend at our Memorial Day party, and a friend of mine had also tried them and he was like, oh my God, they're the best. They work so well. So, and again, I find that I catch them in here whether I bait them or not. So worth it. All right, let's unbox these seedlings. Okay, the last box of seedlings I got was kind of a disaster. That was the hellebores and the alstroemeria. Most of the alstroemeria were completely decimated when they arrived. That's very unusual. I've never had that before. So I'm not sure what happened in transit. I mean, they were packed fine. They did reimburse me for them, which was nice. So now I have another set. But yeah, I've never seen a tray come out like that completely. There was nothing left on top of any of the pots. It was all just jumbled in the box. I mean, in general, that's the only time I've ever had a problem. So I'm sure this will be fine. There are 4 varieties in here, 288 each. Okay, so this is the first one. I mean, these are wrapped really, really well. Okay, this is Dodiscus, and it is the lacy blue variety. So again, there are 288 plugs here, which is why I can't afford to leave them out for very long. They really need to get in the ground because very small, and they will dry out very, very quickly. So I am going to put these in. First of all, I'm going to give them a nice drink, although they feel nice and moist. I'm going to give them another drink. Then I'm going to sit them in a tray and cover them so they stay covered in here overnight so the mice don't eat them, because I could come in and this could be completely gone. That's weird. This one was in there upside down. Look how small that plug is. Tiny. Yeah, this plug tray was in there upside down, which is a little weird, but they look good for the most part. Some of them have popped out, but it's not the end of the world. So this is Bells of Ireland. Now these guys, some people have lots of luck growing them from seed. I've had very, very spotty luck growing them from seed. Most of the time they don't germinate for me, and if they do, then it's only a handful of plants. Therefore, I got a tray. So these guys definitely need to be watered, and then they'll go in. I can see a number of plugs missing, but I'm not all that concerned because this is a lot of Bells of Ireland. Okay, now we have snapdragons. This is rocket bronze. Now this is a, pretty sure this is a group 4, which is the only way I can actually put these in the ground and expect anything to happen because we were heading into our heat. Snapdragons come in 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And within the varieties, they have, some varieties are earlier producers than others. So rocket and group 4 should allow these to weather any heat and do just fine in giving me blooms over the summer and into the fall. Okay, the final tray is stuff that I already have out there, but now I don't have to start another succession. This is Daucus chocolate lace flower, looking beautiful. So I'm gonna give all these guys a nice deep water and then set them up with dome protection in here overnight so that when I come out in the morning to check on them, they're all still here. I will set my traps up as well. I am gonna bait these because I want it to be as enticing as possible. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Not sure how much time I'm gonna have to film over the next couple days because of graduation festivities and stuff, but we'll see. I'll do my best. I think I'm gonna try to get out to the farm early tomorrow morning to at least get one of these trays transplanted. It just depends. Depends on how well I sleep tonight. So if we do that, I'll bring you along. And we have beds already prepared. The irrigation is going. Just need to pop these guys in the ground. So I'm looking forward to that, to have more growing plants out there. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.